What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode number 28 of our Road to Glory career mode. Sit back and enjoy this episode. It's been a few days since we last made an episode of this series, but today's episode has a interesting one. We've got a really good game to come in this one. First one here against Nottingham Forest. Of course, Ben Brereton heading back to his former club and back to his former stomping ground as the league's top scorer. Currently, we also have some news on the transfer front, including one of our bigger players leaving the club and a big new signing ahead of next season where hopefully we will be playing Premier League football. So we'll see all that to come later on in the episode. But for now, as I say all the time, grab yourself a drink and a snack, come back and get ready to watch Crew do their business. As you know, we've been really good scoring goals recently. We're scoring for fun, but we're also conceding for fun. And that's always been one of our problems in this series, is my defending hasn't been great, but yet we can score goals. So at least we can outscore our opponents. And we needed to do that in the games we've played so far. I'm hoping that one day we'll manage to find a clean sheet, but it's still not yet happened for us. But Ben Brereton, as I said, on his return to his former stomping ground, it just had to be him to open up the scoring inside 12 minutes for us. I mean, he's scored, 14, 15 goals this season so far, and it just looks so likely when he was in the starting 11, going back to his former club, that he was most likely going to get a chance and probably score. And it was so close from the Forest goalkeeper, actually. If he just had his hands a little bit higher, maybe he would have made that save, and it would have still been 0-0 in the game. But Forest themselves were going to be quite tough, because I looked at this and thought, we're in good form. We should at least be able to win this game. But Nottingham Forest as a side, they are going to create chances even without Ben Brereton in the team. So that's his 15th of the season so far. And he just continued to really harm his former club. I mean, he picks up the ball here after Phillips lays in Kinsella. Kinsella to Brereton, turns his man, gets inside, opens up the space. And within the space of half an hour, on his return, he had a second goal for himself. And Crew were 2 to the good. Like, I don't know what quite was going on with Ben Brereton, but in this game especially, he just seemed like he was up for it. And it's always going to be the case, you know, when you have a player returning back to their old club, they're always going to find that extra level that they need in order to play that little bit better. And Ben Brereton certainly did that. 2 goals in the opening 30 minutes. That one is a fantastic finish as well. The keeper just doesn't move. As soon as he knows that Ben has opened up the space, chances are that that's going to find the back of the net. There's no point in him even trying to stop that one from going in. But as I said, Forest weren't just going to sit back, and we're not great defensively, so you can get they're going to get chances. And unfortunately, I gave them an opportunity back into this game. Stupid tackle over on the right-hand side from our skipper, McDonald. You can see he ends up being a bit frustrated with it, but you can't really have any complaints. The ball was already left the man's foot there, and he just takes him out right on the stroke of the box. Or sorry, just on the edge of the box, I would have said. But anyways, that might be my bias coming into it. I'm just joking. It definitely was a penalty, and it now is an opportunity to Forest to get themselves back in this. Clough up against Hill. Hill guesses the correct way, and more importantly, makes the save as well. And luckily for us, we gave them a massive opportunity back into the game, and we were just about able to deal with it as well. But there's still chances coming before the end of the first half. The latest with Reece Nelson testing the palms of the Forest goalkeeper. A very good save there to stop us going 3 to the good. And as the second half got underway, Forest started off the second half a little bit better than they ended off the first. They found Harrison in the middle of the park there, and he ended up getting them a goal back. He came off the bench. Now, I don't know if this is Jack Harrison or if it's a different Harrison entirely. If it is Jack Harrison, we know all about the young man. So, can't really line that time and space on the edge of my area. Otherwise, that is going to be the outcome every single time. So, although Hill saved the penalty earlier on, couldn't match it with a save there for the away side. But as we continued on, I felt confident. I felt like we were going to find another chance and probably another goal. And Ben Brereton, looking for his hat-trick, was so close to getting it. His right-footed shot coming back off the top of the crossbar. And he could have had the hat-trick with that goal there. But unfortunately, couldn't quite make it happen. And again, straight there from the goal kick, we won the ball. It was Dominic Ioffa winning the header. Brereton 1-2 with Kovacic, who came off the bench, sent him through for the hat-trick. There it is. Now, anybody in their right mind just wouldn't let him leave their club. And I can't understand why Nottingham Forest was so easy to allow him to leave to a rival in the same division. You know, Crew were on the up. We'd won promotion in the first 2 seasons so far, straight from League 2 to the Championship. So I have no idea what on earth was happening and why Forest allowed Ben Brereton to leave their club. But I am so glad that they did, because what a difference he has made to our side. That becomes his 17th league goal of this campaign, and we've only played 20 or 21 games so far. He's averaging just short of a goal a game at the moment in the Championship, so we might kind of struggle if it comes to us getting to the Premier League, and teams maybe looking at Ben Brereton thinking, hang on a minute, he's got an outstanding goal record in the Championship. We should probably sign him for the Premier League maybe, but hopefully we'll be playing some Premier League football next season. And hopefully we can defend a bit better next season, because that isn't how you do it. And Clough, who missed the penalty earlier on, got on the score sheet even after missing that, finding the back of the net from Hakeeb's, I guess, pass back? I don't know what it was from Hakeeb. But anyways, Clough gets on the score sheet. It could have been a different game had he have scored the penalty kick, but that is the way the game ended. So luckily for us, we held on to a 3-2 victory, but what a game this first one was. Could have quite easily been 3-3, but then again, it could have been 4-3 if Brereton's, shot that went off the bar ended up going in. So, game of ifs and buts there, but still, it's 3 points to us, and it's still a massive victory as well. We decided to sim the next game, this one against Wolves. Fellow promotion rivals, I guess you could say. They took the lead, Douglas scoring the early goal there 9 minutes in, but Phillips equalises for us in the 33rd minute before Kinsella puts us 1 in front at 2-1. Ruben Neves, though, does score a penalty kick to equalise the game up and send both teams away from this one with a single point. Slightly disappointing, but you know what? It was against Wolves. They're a good side, and I'll take that point every day of the week. Now we get a trip over to Middlesbrough. Now, these games aren't getting any easier, although having said that, this Middlesbrough side are kind of struggling at the moment. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's happening over with their kind of lineup or anything like that, but they're quite low down in the division currently. They're not having the greatest season in the world. I looked at this game originally and thought this was going to be like incredibly tough and we might struggle, but as I said, they're struggling this season themselves. And for us who are top, we are creating chances and we're scoring goals for fun right now. As you know, we've scored a hell of a lot of goals, but we've also conceded a fair few. I am actually going to show you the full league table later on in the episode and break it down just to show you exactly what's happened to us this season. But currently we sit with 17 goal difference, but we've also scored something like 15 more goals than anybody else. So that is pretty much the reason why. We've conceded as much as every team in the division pretty much, but we've scored a lot more than the rest of the sides, and that's why we are managing to be where we are currently. But Middlesbrough, first half an hour, nothing really happening until we found a nice little breakaway. Kinsella playing a 1-2 with Ben Brereton, who just about steered it through to his strike partner, who stayed onside, gets through, left-footed strike underneath the goalkeeper. And it is Middlesbrough 0, Crew Alexandra 1. The driven shot again is coming in clutch from Kinsella. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to finish this one off. We know all about the fact that he's still young. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. And he's still in many ways an inexperienced player. But when he hit it as close to the goalkeeper as he did, it was kind of hard for the keeper to get down that low to make the save. So Birra, who started off the game not too badly, keeping us at bay, were caught with one simple counter-attacking move. And that was what gave us the opening goal. So in many ways, we had to kind of change our play style from the opening game against Forest. We weren't really fully in control, and we were more kind of playing on the break. But the second half got underway, I felt a little bit better about my kind of play. Felt like I could just do this with Ben Brereton, trying to find the back of the net, but a good save from the keeper makes it a double save later on after the header comes in from Gomez on the left, but can't quite find a second for us. But we were in control, and I felt confident that we were going to find a second. Phillips picking up the ball in the middle of the park, turns his man brilliantly, gets his strike away, and he was so close to finding that second goal that I was really hoping we were going to get. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. We've got 9 minutes left of this game, looking to hold on and try and pick up another 3 points. The goalkeeper tries something smart from the kick. It works out, actually, for Middlesbrough. Braithwaite finding his partner there, Christie. Back to Braithwaite. Lovely little 1-2. And Middlesbrough created their first chance pretty much of the entire game. Johnson through the middle. Hill was very quick off his line, though, to kind of put the striker off there. And that might have been the reason why his finish was absolutely atrocious. Regardless, it was a very, very quick, I'd say, reaction from our goalkeeper. And Hill, we had a few issues with Hill and Green recently. I'm not sure that either one of them was going to be the best fit for the club, but Hill has certainly stepped up in recent weeks, and he's made a couple of decent saves, including that penalty last time out. So luckily, we held on to the 1-0 win, got another 3 points in the bag, and that's always the way we want to do it. Now, next game against Bolton, again, it was going to be a sim 1-4 as the side's very strong. Hill in goal. Acosta gave us the lead in this game before we actually went 2-0 up, I do believe. It was Kinsella with the second one, before finding a third pretty much 12 minutes later, again for his second of the game. Lafondre does pull one back, though, for Bolton late on. Not enough, though, for them to get anything out of the game itself. And we got into the January transfer window. I love this moment in FIFA, and I love this moment in a career mode when you get to sign more players ahead of next season. Now, the first one I looked at was this man, Aidan Flint. I've seen him being suggested before. I know he's a very capable centre-back. He plays for Bristol City. He's 76 rated. And originally when I saw this here right now, 45 grand a week, he wants 25 clean sheets and he wants £2.4 million if he gets that. I looked at that and thought there's absolutely no way I can do that. Yeah, we're probably not going to get 25 clean sheets, but at the same time, imagine like miraculously somehow I improve defending and do manage to get 25 million clean sheets. 25 million? What am I talking about? 25 clean sheets. That's going to cost us 2.5 million. And that's kind of a large chunk of the budget. So I was a bit like, I want to get rid of that. I'll just give you wage and a signing bonus. But he wouldn't take anything less than 57k. He wouldn't even take 50k. So I was like, all right, well, we might have to come back to Aidan Flint in a later part of the window. But for now, I need to make a new signing. And that man was going to be Jose Gaya. You can see the left back currently playing his trade at Swansea City in the Premier League. If this signing does happen, it wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal in terms of, I guess, him moving from Swansea to Crewe, because if we go up, you'd like to think that the money that I'm going to be able to put into the club and maybe, you know, the players we've got coming through the ranks are going to be able to kind of keep us in the Premier League, maybe at like a top 12 team, which is probably where Swansea are currently. But for the intention and what I'm trying to send a message to the rest of the division, that's a massive signing. Jose Gaya joins up ahead of next season. He turned down a chance to join Real Madrid because he wanted playtime, and so he's going to join us at Crewe Alexandra for hopefully the Premier League next year. Moving from Swansea to Crewe, and he's going to be a player for us next year. I'm excited with that one. He is 84 rated, but as I said, you know, for a left-back, it's not abnormal that maybe he would be joining the club on such a low contract for wage because they don't necessarily get paid as much as maybe an attacking midfielder or a striker does. But it's still a massive signing ahead of next season. And the reason I did that was because of this. I said at the start of the episode we might have a big-name player leaving the club. That man is Brennan Dickinson. He has a release clause of 1.25 million in his contract, which I didn't know about. He's worth 1.5, and it was recently activated by Middlesbrough. So I was sat there thinking to myself, I really do need to think about a left-back ahead of next season. I had a choice. I could have gone out and bought one now with the money we had and just, you know, splashed the cash. Or I could have gone for the smart option, which would have been Jose Gaya for next season and maybe just using the likes of Greg Lee for the rest of this season. So that's what I decided. I decided on the latter one of the two, getting in Jose Gaya for next year and just focusing maybe on playing Greg Lee in his place ahead of it this time around, getting through the rest of the season and having Gaya for next year as a first choice for left back. And in many ways, it's a massive upgrade, you know. So it's not bad that we're going to lose Dickinson, but for the rest of these 6-month period that we're going to be in the Championship for, he's going to be a big, big loss, and that's something that I kind of disappointed with. If he joins Middlesbrough, it'll be the way it goes. They're struggling themselves. I can understand why they want a new player in the side, and he's kind of a steal at £1.2 million on a release clause, so I fully understand why they've done it, but for us, it is going to be a pretty big miss. He's played a lot of games for the club. He's been a good servant, and he's had a great couple of years here with us at Crewe. But the next opponents were Reading, and this one, Reading are in the top 6, so I felt like if we could destroy them here at home, then we would put ourselves in with a really good chance of getting off by promotion. You know, these are a side that's going to be rivaling us if we are to play in the playoffs, you know, come the end of the season. So when I came into this game, I decided to play it at home. Normally I would have simmed it, but I thought I want to try my trade and see what's going to happen in the game against them. And we took the lead through Hakeeb on the left-hand side, scoring what was a very scuffed shot, but it still turned golden for us. But then Reading, they got on the front foot. They created a chance, and it was a decent stop by Green, who replaced Hill today, literally for no other reason other than fitness. It wasn't like I wanted to play Green. It was just Hill was a little bit unfit because we played these two games. Alongside this one, with the sim one we just had a minute ago, there was 2 days separating them. So I was kind of like, I have to change the side around a little bit. But one man who stayed in the team was that man, Bam Brereton. And he slotted home to make it 2-0 to Crewe, from a mistake from a Reading defender, and the home side were cruising. Pardon the pun. Cruising, you get it? I'm going to stop. But anyways, Ben Brereton gets another goal for himself. Top scorer in the division so far this year. Honestly, what a steal he is turning out to be. I'm liking these little steals. You know, in my Huddersfield one, we managed to sign Smolov, and he was a steal for the Premier League. This time around, we got Brereton. He's been a steal as well. But the question mark is now going to be, if he continues this form, and if he gets to like 30 goals for the season in the Championship, are we going to be able to keep him ahead of next year? You know, will he want to stay at the club? That's his 18th goal of the season so far. And we are now 25 or 26 games into it. So there's every chance that he is going to hit that 30-goal mark. And are we going to be able to keep him after that if it stays as it is? He tries his luck again here in the 31st minute. And he was inches away from finding the bottom corner with that one. And we were in complete control. Honestly, Reading, they never really threatened defensively. I'm not really great, but I did manage to actually play pretty well today defending. And Brereton find Kovacic on this right-hand side. Kovacic finds Rose. Rose through, back in the side today. He hasn't played in quite a few, I'd say probably weeks, even months maybe. Our top scorer of last season. He's still good at finishing this year as well. A lovely finish there to make it 3-0 to us. We've kind of got Cole, you know, we've got Kinsella as well, so maybe Rose hasn't really featured as much as he possibly should have. But he's still got a finishing touch to make it 3-0 there in the 58th minute. Monone, I kind of felt bad for him because he really couldn't do anything at this stage. We were just playing so well. And honestly, our attacking threat is one of the best in the Championship. We are so good going forward. I don't think there's a defence in this division that can stop us scoring. I really don't. There's sides that's going to beat us because, of course, our defending isn't fantastic. But in terms of a side, just coming to our ground or even like going away from, you know, if we have to go to their ground, I don't think there is a side in this division that can stop us scoring and neutralise our attacking threat. As Rose makes it 4-0, grabbing a second for himself on the day as well. I am really, really happy with the attacking side that we have built here at Crew. I think we've built a fantastic team, and going forward for the Premier League next year, if we make the right signings, I feel that we are going to have a good year next year. Of course, there's still a little bit left. We still have to get out of this division, but the way we're playing, there's absolutely no reason why we won't get out of the Championship on the first time of asking, and that is the way this game ended against Reading. 4-0 win, 3 points, job done, basically. That also sent another message out to the rest of the division. You know, Reading, they've enjoyed a good season so far. They were in the top 5, sorry, and they were doing pretty well, and we just smashed them at home 4-0. More bad news, though, because even if Dickinson was to turn down Middlesbrough, he also had an offer from Nottingham Forest. And the weird thing was these messages came in a bit late. Like, that Dickinson release clause from Middlesbrough came through a bit late because I already knew about that even when it happened. And there was another offer, as I said, from Nottingham Forest as well. Both sides, arguable which one you would go to if you were in his case. But unfortunately, he did end up leaving the club. You can see when we go down, you know, we've got the likes of Middlesbrough to choose from, Nottingham Forest to choose from. So there is the message that unfortunately Middlesbrough's talks broke down. I was like, okay, maybe Dickinson's going to stay. But no, he chose to join Nottingham Forest in this season, which means we're about Dickinson. So I decided, you know what? Let's go pick up a new left-back on a short-term deal, on a loan. That man, Anton Robinson, was going to be the man to replace him. He is on a hefty wage, but I decided to go ahead and offer a 40-60 split with Everton, and they were happy to have that happen. So I was like, okay, decent, you know. He'll come into the team, hopefully, and do a good job. We still need to wait for confirmation of that, which we will get in next episode. But between now and then, we've got a game to come in the FA Cup, so we'll see how that's going to fare. But for now, guys, that's how today's episode will end. If you did enjoy it, a like would be greatly appreciated. Let's check out the league table before we go, just to show you how it all looks at the top and at the bottom of the table, and you can see the goal difference and stuff like that. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. As always, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate it. Thank you as well for 20,000 subscribers. It's incredible. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload on the channel. I have been Dan. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all again tomorrow. Adios.